Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Guatemala. My name is Rita, and I'm going to be your tour guide during the day. We have Mr. Jose, our driver, and both of us will be more than happy to assist you at any moment during the tour. In behalf of Blue Planet, the company that we represent and ourselves, let me give you the warmest welcome to Guatemala. Today, we will visit the archaeological site of Ixinche. This is going to be 2.5 hour drive, but on the way we're going to have a stop for restrooms. Then we will continue our visit to the site, and after it we will have lunch in one of the restaurants on the way to be back on the pier at 5:30. That's our schedule. Let me now start by giving you a little something that I have bought for you. This is my name tag, so that you will remember my name at any moment. And also I have brought a map that's highlighted with the route that we are going to have. And let me show you also how is Guatemala located. We are the belly bottoms of the America. That's the way I like to describe it. We are a small spot just in the center. Our neighbors on the north and west, we have Mexico. On the east, we have Belize, a little of the Caribbean, Honduras, and El Salvador. And then on the south, we have the Pacific Ocean. So that's where we are in Guatemala. Let me give you this now. As you can see, Guatemala could be divided into 3 different areas on the way. We have the lowlands of the Pacific. In that area, which is part of what we will be seeing today, we have the sugarcane plantations. Even though we are a small country, as we are, we have the 7th site of worldwide producers of sugar. And that's a lot of what we will see around here. But we also have some tropical fruits. We have the cocoa, for instance, that is the basic for the chocolate. And you know that chocolate is a Nahuatl word that means chocat, which is bitter, and atl, which is water. So when we talk about chocolate, we're talking about a bitter beverage that was used during the ceremonies in the ancient Mayans world. Then we will continue our path and we'll see the volcanoes. We have a chain of volcanoes of 38 volcanoes, which we have 3 active today. We will see 2 of them. One over there on the driver's side, we have the fire volcano. That's one of the active volcanoes. And on the side of the door, we could see over there the Pacaya volcano. Those are 2 of the active volcanoes that we have, and we will see on the way today. After the volcanoes, we get into what we call the highlands in Guatemala. The highlands in Guatemala are basically 2/3 of the country, and we're talking about the mountains that we are surrounded by. In that area, what we will see mainly is coffee. I know that if you have been in one of these coffee producer countries, they have already told you that they have the best coffee in the world. So let me tell you, they were lying. No, it's not Guatemala the best world coffee either. The best coffee is the one that you like the most. However, let me give some things that you might get to know. Last year, a group of farms went into an internet trade and they achieved $85 a pound of coffee. I'm not telling you it's the best, but what I can say is that there's someone around there willing to pay $85 a pound. Gee, it must be good. So, but not just coffee we have in the highlands. We have vegetables, we have fruits, we have flowers, and we have a wonderful landscape. After the highlights, we go into the lowlands again. In that area is where we have the tropical rainforest, and also that area was the one that served to the ancient Mayans as the crib of their civilization. So that's a little bit of how Guatemala looks. Now, let me give you some facts about what we have around here. The money in Guatemala, it's called el quetzal, and it's after a bird, our national bird, which is called the quetzal. It's a beautiful bird. It's a small body, but it's got long, beautiful feathers. We have 15 million people as the population of Guatemala, which 60% around would be Mayan descendants. Surprise. 22 different ethnies, and each one has its own language. But not just Mayans we have in here. We have also the Xincas. The Xinca is still another indigenous group, but they're not Mayan roots. And we also have the Garifunas that live in the area of the Atlantic, and this is a group of Afro-Caribbeans. And the rest of us, we are called Ladinos, which is basically mixed from all over the world. This is what we have. The language in Guatemala, the official language is Spanish, though we have 25 different languages that are spoken. So now let me go to some other area, because I know that you came to Guatemala because you're interested in the Mayan culture. Let me tell you that still today, the Mayans are around here and they're very attached to their traditions. One of them, for instance, is that the girls will learn how to weave when they're 4 and 5 years old. In fact, if they want to get married, they have to weave this special handkerchief that's called the sute for the mother-in-law. In this sute, they will show how good of a weaver they are. If the mother-in-law agrees on the way this girl weaves, then they can get married. If not, they have to continue practicing or find a less picky mother-in-law. The reason for that? Yes, through the weaving is the way that these girls are going to help the family's economy. How? They will weave these beautiful suits that they wear all days, but also they weave this special handkerchief for you, which will have all over the world. Textiles is one of the things that Guatemala is known for. And the suits that they make, for instance, let me start by showing you the huipil. The huipil is basically the blouse that the girl will weave. This is a little bit of a Facebook page somehow, because in this huipil, with this design, they'll tell about their families, about the areas they live in, about their hometowns, their lineages, and some other things. So this is very important for them to show, because over here they'll say if they're married or single or some details of their lives. They also have what is known as el corte. El corte is basically the skirt that they'll wear, and it will be, depending on the area, there are some cortes that could be up to 8 or 10 yards long. They will wrap it around their waist and tie it with this other woven belt that is known as the faja. The faja is very important, and it attaches the corte to their waist. And the end of it will be the headdress. Regularly, the headdress will start with their own hair wrapping around and putting it around their heads. But since I don't have this long hair, just let me show how the headdress is being. Voila! This is the outfit that the girls may wear during their regular lives. Okay, so now let's go to the site. After the visit, go to lunch and then back to the pier. On the way to the pier, I will be talking a little bit more about what's going on in Guatemala day by day. So right now, it's time to say goodbye. I have a little bracelet for you, and this is for you to remember your trip to Guatemala. And we have to say goodbye to our driver as well. He's been a wonderful driver, so let's give him a clap. Now, for me, it's been a pleasure and an honor being your tour guide. There's just one thing I want to ask you. If you like what you saw, go tell your friends. If you didn't, go tell your enemies. However, I hope you had a wonderful time in Guatemala and see you some other time. Goodbye and hasta la vista, amigos.